Where's your jacket?
Oh my God.
It's minus 13.
I sold it.
You sold it?
Yes.
Okay, well, I've been trying to call you.
I sold my phone.
You sold your phone?
Yes.
You're not even wearing any shoes,
I know,
Thomas.
I sold them.
I know you want a G80. This isn't the way to do it.
It's a means to an end, okay? Can I just use your computer?
By all means.
Thank you. Means to an end. Means to an end. You're watching Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
And this is the new Genesis G80.
You have to admit, flowing curves and symmetry do make a good-looking thing. But that's superficial. The goal is to peel away the layers and filter out marketing and internet opinions to extract the car beneath the car.
And as profound as that sounds, the task itself is much simpler. Nowadays, the truth is, every new car drives reasonably well. So we're left to search for something more, a spark in the mundane. So where does the Genesis G80 fit?
If you're new to Throttle House, we do car reviews, track tests, and quite a lot of messing around. So subscribe and hit the bell.
Okay, in the driver's seat of the 2021 G80. We've been excited about this car ever since it was announced. Thomas is pumped. He thinks it can be a 5 Series E-Class fighter. So can Genesis really come through here now that they've got something that has, I think, a lot of identity and take it on? I mean, this one is a 3.5 litre turboed 6. You can get it in a 4-cylinder 2.5 litre turbo, which is the same engine as inside the Hyundai Sonata N-Line. It is cheaper, but $66,000 even still for a 4-cylinder might feel like you've been shortchanged, and this is already such a value. So I think you'd go the whole hog and get the 3.5 litre turbo. 375 horsepower, 391 pound-feet of torque, all-wheel drive, going through this 8-speed, lots of confidence. Finds the perfect mix of executive and sporty that I would expect from a car like this. So far, I'm really impressed with this car. The power is perfect. I mean, it's not going to match like an E53, which is that really cool mild hybrid electric engine in the Mercedes. But then we actually spec that car out, and with similar trim stuff, it's like 100 grand. This is 76, or in US money, it's this. Can it be aggressive? Well, if you shove it into sport, the seat hugs you a little bit. Oh, that feels nice. I haven't seen anyone in a while. And it keeps your revs high. I think it makes more sound. Speaking of sound, I don't think this car sounds great, and I think Thomas and I disagree a bit there. First of all, there's active sound design going on, so most of it, if anything, is artificial. Maybe you'll hear me drive past. It doesn't make much sound out the back. Actually, it sounds okay in sport mode, but in comfort mode, it's kind of got a bit of a 4-cylinder vibe. However, when I switch it to comfort or even eco, the gauge cluster does a bunch of cool stuff. So that's kind of fun. One thing this does do particularly well, and it's weird because we've recently just got out of an LS500, which is a $150,000 Lexus, is tech. The lane keep assist in this is brilliant. The adaptive cruise, I have full confidence in it, whereas some cars, I don't think. They either suddenly brake or they bounce me between the lines. Even down to something like the rear view camera. It's just top notch, like exactly what you'd expect from top level German cars of this ilk. And Genesis just do it. The other thing it does so well is the ride and the insulation. It's really compliant. In comfort mode, it even kind of wafts. This is a car that has its priorities in check.
Now, this very dirty luxury car is a luxury car first, but Genesis has added quite a lot of sporty stuff to it. For example, bucking the trend of new cars becoming fatter with every generation, this new generation of G80 is actually about 200 pounds lighter than the previous gen. And that's because they've added a lot of aluminum and some stiffer suspension components that are lighter. They've also added a steering ratio that is really fast. It would actually make an Alfa Romeo Giulia a little bit nervous. But I think one of the coolest things is that Albert Biermann, the German who Genesis poached from BMW to come develop their cars, codenamed the chassis for this M3. Whether or not that's just a happy coincidence, I'll let you decide, but I can tell you, sport mode, and the traction control all the way off, and it actually goes all the way off. Foot down and launch. Biases the rear wheels in the all-wheel drive system. The shifts are fast in manual mode. And remember what I said about the steering ratio? It's fast. It's really fast. The turn-in on this car is brilliant. And even with snow tires, it's got front-end feel. Not a lot of really pops and bumps in the road feedback, but it lets you know what those front wheels are doing. But more importantly, the way that they've actually tuned the all-wheel drive system and the chassis of the car means that, and this is a big statement, this is what old BMWs used to drive like, the good ones. Turn in, and when you keep the throttle balanced, the car is perfectly neutral. And then as you apply throttle, the rear steps out in a very linear and predictable fashion in line with your right foot. That's just how you tune a sports sedan. Predictable and fun. On and on ramp, this car genuinely just feels like an E39 5 Series. It's just really, really good. And they've done this right. BMW doesn't seem to do this anymore for some reason. In comfort mode, I think James mentioned that the ride wafts. It kind of floats, which is fine, but if you put it in sport mode, it firms up to the point where there's no unnecessary bumps, which means that they tuned the dampers for the springs in sport mode. So even though this is a luxury car, they really are prioritizing fundamentally good design when it comes to sports sedans. The battery is in the trunk, down low, in the middle. It's actually in a better spot than BMW's. The engine is back, behind the front axle. Genesis is just doing this right. They're just doing this right. And I'm really happy about it. I picked this car up and I immediately called James to tell him how much I like it. He asked to swap with me today for his S4 just for a couple days, and I said no. If I was gonna make one change, I would tell them to put a limited slip differential in the rear. Unless they're planning on doing some sort of a sports car version of it. The G70 does come with an LSD in the rear and the top trim, and I think this one should too. So to conclude the sporty aspect of this car, you're not gonna believe me when I say this, and you're gonna go in the comments and freak out. This is more fun to drive than an M5 competition. I know that doesn't make any sense, but it is, because it's more engaging of a car. It's not nearly as fast, obviously, or as competent, guaranteed to be slow around a racetrack, but it's just more fun to drive. You staying warm?
You know what? I'm used to it now.
Are you?
I'm not dressed like a Canadian. Like
yeah,
you
I
are.
am though. Look at this.
But I eat snow for breakfast. You know, this is my life now.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're stuck here. We can't go to.
We're stuck.
Normally
We are
we're
stuck.
We're in California.
So why
right now.
not embrace it?
This is it's a fantastic car.
You love it.
You got snow all over your face. This is an absolutely brilliant car. I love driving it so much, James.
I know you do.
I want one.
This might not be the colour scheme I would go for. This has got more of a Tasman blue vibe if I had to give it a name. I'm more of an Adriatic blue, because then the Adriatic blue gets you a cream interior rather than the tan. It's a bit old manny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've okay. Anyway, the color is teal. That's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah, a Tasman blue.
Or sorry.
It looks green actually.
It looks blue though.
You think everything's blue.
No, it's literally, it looks blue. Anyway, the color is cool, but that's not the best part about this car. It's the styling, because, okay, so the front is a bit, we'll get to that in a second, but it's the shape and the flowing part of it that I like. You know what the slogan is? Athletic elegance elevated.
Athletic elegance elevated.
Say that 5 times fast.
Athletic elegance elevated. Athletic elegance. Yeah.
It's like girl gargoyle, guy gargoyle. Try that one.
Girl gargoyle, guy gargoyle, guy gargoyle. We had, when I grew up, it was red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry.
Red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry,
actually
yellow
hard.
lorry.
You know what?
That's
As
right.
a company that has athletic elegance elevated in their thing, they're very proud of the fact that this platform, which is shared with the GV80, has all the heavy bits as low down as possible. In fact, they
Yes.
have a very smart way of describing it.
Oh, having all the heavy bits really low?
Yes, it is designed such, as what it says on the website,
Yep.
it is designed such that the heaviest parts of the car are placed as low as possible in a, you ready for this?
Yep.
So-called low center of gravity arrangement.
It says so-called.
And then
in
in
quotes.
quotes, low center of gravity arrangement.
That's a really unique term. I can't believe they came up with that.
Genius is over there.
Allegedly, it's called a low center of gravity. Anyway, these headlights are really, really cool. Same as the GV80, right? And they got the 2 lines that connect with the Bentley B on the side.
I think it's a fantastic looking car, and
Yeah.
given that, I don't know, would you say it drives about as well as any BMW 5 Series or E-Class?
This drives better than the current generation 5 Series. Yes.
It's a big statement.
Yes.
And I think it has as much road presence, and it kind of, it tackles that urge that the Mercedes badge has, which is
Yeah.
elegance and presence.
Yeah,
But is
it
it
does.
a better E-Class and 5 Series than the E-Class and 5 Series could ever be? I don't know.
We're not saying that. Maybe you are. This is the grille, though, that I need to talk about. Like, this is the most ridiculous part of this car. The gigantic Superman crest. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm okay with it.
Well, we first saw a version of it on the G90.
Yes, that was the first time we saw that new kind of design language.
I like
it's
it.
really bold.
I like it. I don't know how it's going to age, but I like it. I know you don't like the way this tech is implemented here.
This is actually not that bad, because unless you're looking at it from here, you don't really notice
No.
it, right? You notice it when the grille's really dirty. Like
No,
it
I
is
think
right
I think it's a really cool looking car. I remember when the images came out first, we posted it to our Instagram.
Yeah.
And it was really, really interesting. Even the back, the design language continues at the back
now. No, I like the 2 lights.
with the split lights. It has an identity, maybe for the first time.
I agree. I
then-
don't
and
like
then-
the wheels at all.
Well, this might be a winter setup, but
I'll
yeah.
give it that. You know what they do is they pick up snow and then vibrate on the highway.
Oh,
There's just huge gaps in them.
But Genesis are very proud of this because this is where they started. Now they're here. They started with this. The G80 platform was the beginning of the genesis of
Yes.
Genesis.
Wow.
So this is where this is where they've come to. Now they've got SUVs, obviously.
Yeah. Do you want to look at the interior?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How can you say this isn't an old man spec?
Well, I mean, yeah, this is some tan leather.
Look at these seatbelt buckles.
Okay, that is the color of like an old person's shoe.
Yeah.
Like that, like cream shoe,
And
the
the actual-
running shoes they always wear.
I guess
indoors.
this is a buckle actually.
It is a buckle.
That's a
yeah.
buckle. These are also very old manny.
What the buckle is old manny or the
the
color?
brown- yeah, the color.
Okay.
The color.
Listen, this is a really unique interior.
I think it's stunning.
It's beautiful. And the first thing I noticed when I got in is there's this open pore wood, right? Which is trendy right now.
Yeah.
And I could smell it. When I got in the car, I could smell wood. Can you smell it?
Are you sure that just wasn't you?
Are you saying that I smell like well-oiled wood?
Is that a good thing?
That's a strange sentence. Okay, so I really, really like this for like several different reasons. Number one, the gauge cluster is great. Okay, I know.
I wouldn't have it in that stupid 3D.
Okay, the 3D thing on the GV80, you had an issue with
It's
this.
the same one. I can see it's the same one.
It's the same one, but okay. When I look to the side and then look back, it takes a moment to read my eyes and go into 3D.
Yeah.
But in normal driving, you're always facing forward and it's reading your. In fact,
You
if
can
you
have it in 2D though.
you can have it in 2D very easy. I click this and I go boom into 2D and it's off, right? And it's actually brighter.
It's way better.
But listen, it's really cool in 3D. It's really cool. No, it is.
What I think is really cool is they've kind of done the Mazda thing where there's a lack of noise, visual noise.
Yep. This is
You're
clean.
Not, you're not overladen with tech. There's a nice, 70 billion inch screen.
I don't know. It's like 3.5 feet
I think
long.
it's 12.3
But
inches,
like,
I guess.
here's what I like about this. Okay, is that this is like the home screen, which has got this beautiful blend as a city. It must be somewhere in South Korea. I don't know. Is that Seoul? I don't know. And someone in the comments is going to tell us for sure.
Yep.
And
They're going to be like, that's Chicago.
yes.
Thin crust pizza? No, thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm from Chicago.
Okay, so I just you wanted to get that out, didn't you?
It's from New Girl.
Yeah, oh, is it? Okay. Now, this over here is what I would consider to be probably the most intuitive infotainment on the market. And that's a big claim.
That is a big claim. Is it
But
touchscreen as well?
It is a touchscreen as well. Yeah, same as a GV80, remember? And it's not laggy, it's quick, it's fine. But the thing that I like about it is that it copied old iDrive, where iDrive was divided into individual little blocks of information, right? And you just, with this little thing over here, you swing right over and it moves really quick. And then when you're not using it, you flip it over into this screen, you put some Frank Sinatra on, and you've got a total vibe in this car with the ambient lighting and everything.
Or you can put on like the cafe sounds.
With the cafe sounds if you wanted to do that, yeah, it's fancy. But here is a massive problem, okay? This is a massive problem, and it's actually a thing.
I'm curious what a massive problem is for you,
Okay.
'cause I know you like this.
So this is how you select the gears, right? You
Yes.
click this over and drive, park, reverse. That's fine. I don't mind these. They're better than the push buttons because you can do them without looking. You can reach down. But right above this is is another wheel
Yes.
with the ability to turn.
Oh, I see.
Okay, and I've had this car for days now, and I get this mixed up. So I've literally reached down, grabbed this thing, and clicked it while driving.
What happened?
So is my passenger. But my passenger wanted to go to the left to go over on the screen here, and they reached down and clicked this into neutral at 130 kilometers an hour on the highway.
So you
I went,
immediately-
"Whee!" So I was like, ah! Literally, she's like, oh my God, what did I do? I said, I'm sorry, like this is a dumb design. Like
I never thought about that. I didn't experience. I
It's
had
actually a
the
thing.
G80 for a week, and
yeah,
I'm not
no,
that dumb.
but that's
yeah.
actually a thing.
I'm still not sold on the steering wheel designs here.
No, but it's really comfortable. Like the way that this is like one of the like smoothest, like simplest things to hold on to in a car I've felt.
And one of the annoying things is that in the rear seat, the heated seats is in the armrest. So you have to bring the armrest down.
You have to bring the armrest down. So
hit
someone's
it,
sitting in the middle, you don't get heated seats.
So that's not perfect.
Maybe it's designed to equalize it because there's no heated in the middle. So if the person isn't sitting in the middle, they don't feel left out. So you can't turn on the heated seats. That's what they're thinking.
I
Yeah.
see.
I don't know.
But no, it's good. It's really good in here. I like it.
Climate control simple.
Nice big sunroof.
Yep.
Alcantara headliner.
Alcantara, yep, very good. I'm sure this is, you can change the colors, obviously. It's not always going to be this like crazy tan, right?
No, yeah, you can specific exterior colors only give way to specific interior colors. So this Tasman blue, you can't
Yes.
get the cream, but with another blue you can. So.
Yep. I don't have much else to say other than like it's a very unique design. People hate the steering wheel, and that's okay. They're allowed to,
Yep.
right? I don't love it, but it's fine. I think that this is just a good car. All things about it are really usable. Sound system is good.
Yeah, and the speakers look nice. It's
Speakers
integrated
nice.
well.
Yep. It is very, very good. Like very good. But
Yes.
but is it an E-Class killer?
The G80 captures some of what I've felt is missing in a lot of new cars. Just a smooth driving, ergonomic, comfortable car with a sporty spirit trying to push through. An E-Class killer though? Probably not. I'm not sure a large enough stone and sling exists to take down the Goliath that is the three-pointed star.
But in a world of German and Japanese giants, life without an underdog is boring. And as far as discount underdogs go, the Genesis G80 is about as good as it gets.
I didn't expect the snow on his head.